Dr. Stephen Greer, ufologist, one among many titles. He's a guy who has recently become very much of a hot commodity. He's been around for a long time from what I've seen. I'm pretty sure, like most people, he showed up in my feed and my algorithm quite a bit lately with the conversation around UFOs or whatever you want to call them. I think I've seen him do stuff with Joe Rogan. I've seen him do stuff with Vlad, but I never really checked out any of his videos. I don't know why. I wasn't as intrigued to check them out, and I just didn't. That was until I saw the title for a video that he did with Cam Capone News. The title just struck me, it stuck out to me, and I was like, all right, it's time. I need to watch this video because the title alone just reeled me in. And that was this one right here. The way we think of aliens is a racist caricature. And in my mind, I was like, that's a bold statement, Cotton. That's a bold statement. But I'll go with it. I watched the video. It was intriguing. This sounds like a guy who knows exactly what he's talking about. He seems to have a lot of the information that he needs, a lot of the evidence that he needs gathered. Like I said, he seems very knowledgeable in the subject that he's talking about. So I was like, you know what? Even as wild as this title looks and sounds, I think what he's saying actually makes a lot of sense. And the gears kind of started turning in my mind. And this led me to think about one thing that led me to think about another thing. And I kind of snowballed into thinking about a few different things. That's how my mind works. Very similar to a lot of people. It's like you go from one rabbit hole to the next rabbit hole and you dig in both rabbit holes at the same time. The things that really caught my attention with what Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about is one, the way in which we look at aliens, the way in which we may react to aliens, and also the connection between aliens and the government. And it seems like there's such a strong connection, which I think a lot of people were kind of like, it makes sense. It just makes sense. There's a very strong connection between aliens and the government and the roles that they play in society. This is a bit of a tangent, but it's still connected to Dr. Stephen Greer. One thing that I've been doing a lot lately is listening and watching a lot of cosmic horror, creepypasta s stories. And one of the ones that I got into, I need to finish it, but I got into it. It's on the channel The Dark Somnium. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Is this story right here? I was Earth's ambassador to a hostile alien race, and negotiations failed. But the gist of this story is this guy is sent to an alien spaceship to talk to them. One of the things that he talks about in the beginning of the story is these aliens are reptiles. They're lizard men. These aliens are reptiles, they're lizard men, but at the same time, they've had a strong connection with the global governments because these aliens like to abduct people, they like to kidnap people, and the government has basically been giving these aliens sacrifices, if you will, to a certain degree. As I was listening to Stephen Greer and watching some of his videos, my mind went to this story, and it's kind of crazy because people talk about the lizard man constantly, the reptilian conspiracy theories and everything. I see those, I understand them. I'm not going to say I'm aboard with them, but I do see them. Now I want to go back to this video because I think, as wild as that title is to me, the gist of what he's really saying is the way in which we look at aliens is very flawed. The way in which we see aliens, see something that we would not understand is flawed. I recently made a YouTube video about Jean Jacket and the theory that Jean Jacket is an angel and not an alien. As much as I want to question what is Jean Jacket, I think another part of that question should also be how would we see and how we react to Jean Jacket? Would it be very similar to the way in which the Haywoods reacted? Or would it be similar to the way in which Jupe reacted? And I think both of those ways in which they reacted and then acted towards Jean Jacket are very similar. And what this reminds me of is Childhood's End, a book that I haven't actually read, but I've seen summaries of it, I've seen recaps of it, I've seen recaps of the TV show. And actually now I'm more intrigued to read this story. And there may be some slight spoilers, so just tread carefully. If you don't want to know, then don't watch it past this part. And this is a very surface explanation, but the gist of Childhood's End is that there's this alien race that comes to Earth. They basically bring this time of prosperity. Catch is that these aliens, it's the way in which these aliens look and the way in which people react to the way in which they look. They didn't show themselves at first, and then when we finally see what they look like demons. Some people are still they're okay with what's going on. Other people rebel against this. The reason why I think this is so interesting is What would the reaction be if we actually saw aliens? Because Dr. Stephen Greer talks about it. He says we are in no way, shape, or form ready to make contact with aliens because most people would not know how to act. Most people would be afraid. Most people would kind of it would be something they would not understand, and oftentimes people react to things that they would not understand negatively. Dr. Stephen Greer talks about how the government uses mental warfare in order to keep us afraid of things like this because they don't want us to be able to connect with certain things, and they don't want us to be able to understand certain things. How would we truly react if we saw aliens like the ones from Childhood's End, or if we saw an alien like Jean Jacket, or even we saw an alien from the story, the Dark Somnium story about the alien ambassador, the reptilian men, the lizard men? How would we react? We would, one, be reacting to something that we didn't understand. There's also the possibility that we react to something that's hostile. We react to something that is more technologically advanced than us. That is very scary to a lot of people, and a lot of people would not have the right mindset. I honestly don't think I would have the right mindset to handle something like that. And I think that is a great point that Dr. Stephen Greer is making. We have been programmed to not understand certain things and to fear certain things that we don't understand. So how would we react to seeing these things? I thought that that video by the title alone was so interesting, and that's why I watched it. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video. If you like this one, feel free to check out some other ones on my channel. Thank you guys for coming to check out this video, and be good.